Coming up next on the Rockbridge Report, a national pro-police group is urging Lexington citizens to support tougher policing without the support of the Lexington Police Department itself.
Lexington is known as one of the safest cities in Virginia.
We'll show you what their letters are saying. And later, wildfires rage across areas of the East Coast for the first time in over 20 years. And our own Kemi Knott tells us rain in Rockbridge this week stops today. After that, the Capitol Christmas tree makes its way across America. All that and more coming up right now on the Rockbridge Report.
Live from the campus of Washington and Lee University with news from Rockbridge County, this is the Rockbridge Report.
Welcome to the Rockbridge Report. I'm Valentina Nunez.
And I'm Mackenzie Kane. Breaking news from the Trump transition team as the president-elect offers Robert F. Kennedy Jr. the position of Health and Human Services Secretary. Sources have long believed this would happen after Trump endorsed RFK Jr.'s Make America Healthy Again slogan. Kennedy has yet to officially accept the role.
Members of Congress are reacting to President-elect Donald Trump's announcement he will nominate Representative Matt Gaetz to serve as Attorney General. Gaetz was a Republican congressman from Florida's 1st District and resigned yesterday. He's the subject of an ongoing ethics probe into his alleged sexual misconduct and illicit drug use. Trump said he believes Gaetz will reform the Department of Justice. An employee at the DOJ said the shock was intense among rank-and-file employees, and some Republican congressmen were surprised. Oklahoma Representative Tom Cole told reporters he knew nothing about it.
The Rockbridge County School Board got its first look at a proposed new cell phone use policy at a meeting this week. The decision comes after a July executive order from Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin that created guidelines for schools that want to ban cell phones. I sat down with Juliana Stevenson to learn more about how Rockbridge's new proposal compares to state guidelines.
It is very similar. So in September, the Virginia Department of Education came out with its final guidance, and Rockbridge County Public Schools has kind of been deciding what policy they were going to stick with, and they presented a proposed policy on Tuesday's school board meeting, and it basically says that students cannot have their phone from the beginning of the school day to the end. It needs to be off and away in their backpack. That mostly changes things for the high school. The elementary and middle school students already have no access to their phones. High schoolers currently have access between classes and during lunch, so that's mostly what's going to change, and that was the exact guidance that the state had for them.
Do parents and students have any concerns about this ban?
Yes, absolutely. There are a lot of concerns, and the superintendent kind of addressed a lot of those at Tuesday's meeting. So parents and students are super worried about safety if there were to be a school emergency, and basically, the superintendent said that students will have them in their backpack, so if they need to access their phone in an emergency, they will have that ability, but it does create a bit of a distraction for students, and administrators really want students to be focused on teachers during a school emergency rather than their phone and what their parents are saying. Another concern is just day-to-day communication, and I think that's something that the schools are really working on. Parents will have to call into the office if they have to say anything to their students, and I think it's going to make it really busy for the front office right now. They're going to have to run back and forth between classes.
And I mean, finally, what are the next steps from here?
Yes, so over the next month, the school board and the public can comment on the proposed policy, and they will refine that policy and present it at the December 10th school board meeting, and the school board will vote on it then. It will go into effect on January 6th.
Thanks, Juliana. Check out the full story at rockbridgereport.wlu.edu. In Virginia, a Marine Corps veteran who pleaded guilty to making ricin poisoning was sentenced yesterday to 4 months of home confinement and ordered to pay a $5,000 fine after a probe concluded he had no intent to harm others. Vienna resident Russell Vane's interest in explosives alarmed members of the Virginia militia, who feared he was a terrorist in the making. A search of Vane's home found castor beans and a white substance that tested positive for ricin. But prosecutors eventually deemed Vane a non-threat after a probe revealed he synthesized the deadly toxin out of pure curiosity.
A pro-police group is sending letters to Lexington residents to gain support for tougher policing. The letter also seeks donations, which Lexington Police Chief Angela Green said could be a potential scam. The Rockbridge Report's Alejandro Pacheco has the story.
The National Police Association, a pro-police organization, wants residents to sign a petition asking City Council to give police more authority to issue citations for vandalism and loitering crimes. But some think it's not needed.
Lexington is known as one of the safest cities in Virginia.
The people of Lexington in general are strong-willed, work together, and sniff out those circumstances.
The letter reads, City Council can either keep your neighborhood clean and safe or do what many big city politicians are doing, bowing to anti-law enforcement pressure and order their police to stop quality of life policing. Many City Council members question why city residents receive the letters.
I'm having a hard time understanding the motivation for the organization behind the request for a petition to Lexington City Council to do the things or answer to the complaints that they say exist in our city, because they don't.
In the past, the National Police Association has targeted other towns by sending them similar letters. Their goal, as presented in the organization's website, is to present petitions to city councils across the country. Aside from the organization's president, Ed Hutchinson, there is no other staff listed on the website. It's still unclear whether these letters are legitimate. ACLU of Virginia's policy director, Chris Kaiser, is skeptical. Even though violent crime is falling nationwide, special interest groups are doing their best to convince people of just the opposite. It's unfortunate that people in Lexington are being targeted at a time when Virginia's criminal legal system, plagued by racism and cruelty, so urgently needs reform. Lexington city officials urge residents to contact them or the police department if they have any questions. For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Alejandra Pacheco.
Lexington City Council is holding public meetings to brief residents about a proposed stormwater fee. The Rockbridge Report's Bella Timmerding is live on White Street, one of the areas affected most by stormwater damage. Bella, what does this fee mean for Lexington residents?
Well, Mackenzie, the fee has the potential to increase water bills again in Lexington, with the average homeowner paying between $75 and $125 in additional fees. The proposal comes just 4 months after City Council raised water bills by 7%. Lexington water bills increased 7%. Now property owners could see an additional increase with the introduction of a new permanent stormwater fee aiming to prevent street flooding. City staff is holding public meetings in the police headquarters in City Hall next Monday and Tuesday to give residents a chance to ask questions and receive fee estimates prior to council's vote.
What we're trying to do is communicate, when we institute this fee, what will you get for it? And how did we calculate it? Is it fair for you?
Civil Consulting Group, based in Troutville, Virginia, began producing a database over 4 years ago. It includes a compilation of aerial shots and mock-ups of impervious structures that can increase the homeowner's fee. Public Works is using the program to calculate the fees homeowners will face.
The roof, if you have a concrete driveway, if you have a shed. So that's basically concentrating water or keeping water from hitting the earth, hitting the soil, and getting through the soil or the ground to basically get to be absorbed.
Because the database uses aerial imagery from 2018, some worry the program is not up to date enough to pick up additions or changes within property lines.
We're better than 95%, we believe, accurate with everything.
But Young says he's not sure if the program will be posted for public use before the fee is implemented.
Residents will be able to review everything, probably prior to the fee being paid. Maybe there's going to be an overlap between the time it's implemented and the time it's due, something like that. But residents will have an opportunity to review the information online and to let the city know if there's a significant disagreement.
If passed by council, the stormwater fee will be implemented in phases and cost the average resident around $75 to $125 per year. The city has not yet confirmed if the fee will be added to the monthly water bill. City Council is expected to vote on the stormwater fee after the first of the year. If approved, this will be the third indefinite increase in water bills this year. Live on White Street, I'm Bella Timmerding for the Rockbridge Report. Back to you, Mackenzie.
Thanks, Bella. You can read the full story at rockbridgereport.wlu.edu. Coming up on the Rockbridge Report, an interview with Lexington School Board member Casey Potter.
I want to find out what books are there, what books were banned or not banned, or again, I just want to hear from the parent.
And later, efforts to build and expand solar power arrays in Rockbridge County move one step closer to reality. All that coming up after the break. Welcome back to the Rockbridge Report. There were 3 winners from Lexington's first ever school board election. One of those was Pure Eats owner Casey Potter, who says she wants to focus on improving the transition from Lilburn Downing Middle School to Rockbridge County High School. She also wants to give parents more of a say in what their kids are learning. The Rockbridge Report's Juliana Stevenson interviewed Potter Wednesday.
Can you just briefly tell me what your first priority is for the school board?
I just want to dive in. I want to hear from the parents. I want to know, what we can do, what needs to be done, what is flourishing, what needs just a little bit of work, and, just start identifying areas that are of concern.
Last year, the schools banned some books in Lilburn Downing Middle School, and I just was wondering where you kind of stand on that issue.
I want to find out what books are there, what books were banned or not banned, or again, I just want to hear from the parents. I want to find out, where, again, the concern is, and then go from there. Like I said, I think that every parent should have a voice in their child's education and what they're being taught and how they're being taught and what they're being exposed to in the library.
I know some have suggested creating a position on the county school board for a city resident. Is that something you are hoping to do on the school board?
I would love to. I don't know how to go about it, but it's top priority. It's something that I've got to look into. Again, I know that, Megan, her taxation with that representation, the city is paying a ton of money for these children to go to the Rockbridge County High School, and we don't really have a say. There's nobody from the city that's representing us.
Buena Vista schools jumped 44 points in Virginia rankings this year. The schools have implemented more tutoring and new programs to help students succeed. Read more about Buena Vista schools' rising test scores in Channing Schilling's story at rockbridgereport.wlu.edu.
Warm Run Solar LLC's plans for a 3-megawatt solar array have faced backlash and delays. Citizens on both sides brought up property rights, renewable energy, and health concerns during last night's meeting of the County Planning Commission. The commission decided to approve Warm Run Solar's application after 3 meetings with 2 different county government agencies. Next, the Board of Supervisors will hold a public hearing on November 25th for citizens to comment on the issue. Read Liz Trubeck's story at rockbridgereport.wlu.edu. Coming up on the Rockbridge Report, East Coast droughts create the first wildfires in New York in over 20 years.
This was not on fire a half hour ago.
Kimmy Knott here with the Rockbridge Report. It's been a very rainy day here in Lexington, but find out if we're in for more of the same as we head into this weekend on my forecast.
Welcome back to the Rockbridge Report. Fire crews are working to contain a wildfire burning along the New York-New Jersey border. The Jennings Creek wildfire turned deadly this weekend, killing a volunteer forest ranger. It has burned thousands of acres, and it's threatening dozens of structures. CNN's Lee Waldman has the details.
This was not on fire a half hour ago.
Thousands of acres near the New York and New Jersey border have been burned by the Jennings Creek wildfire since it sparked last week.
We are asking for people that live on Cliff Road and Greenwood Lake to voluntarily evacuate. People in other areas, be prepared to.
Historic drought conditions are fueling the fire, aided in part by wind and dry air. Chris Frennick with the New Jersey Forest Fire Service says the rugged terrain is also a challenge for the response.
It's making access to go fight the fire hard to get equipment in there because some areas it's too steep for bulldozers to go to.
Fire crews from New Jersey and New York are working together, attacking the fire from the ground and from the sky, working to contain it and keep it from threatening homes and other structures in the area. Some who live there are being encouraged to leave.
Police knocked on our door maybe an hour or two ago and just said, if you guys want to get a bag ready and if you have somewhere to go, maybe you should go.
Frennick says one volunteer firefighter was treated for smoke inhalation over the weekend, and 18-year-old Dariel Vasquez died Saturday while working as a volunteer New York State Forest Ranger. In a GoFundMe page, his family describes him as, quote, a true hero, someone who lived his life with purpose, who put others before himself.
Thoughts and prayers to all those experiencing those wildfires in the East Coast. Here in Lexington, we are experiencing some rain, and I do have to say I'm not a fan of all that weather.
Yeah, I know. I mean, Cammie, I know your job here is to tell us about the weather and not control the weather, but rain, cold, wildfires, please tell me that we've at least got some sunshine coming our way.
I know, Mackenzie, I've been trying to work some of my weather magic, but the skies just did not get the memo today. But let me tell you about some of our other current conditions we've got right now in Lexington as I show you our live shot right now on Jackson Street in downtown Lexington. But as we take a closer look at our temperatures, you can see that we had a high today of only 44 degrees and the low was 39. So not much fluctuation there at all, just a very chilly day all around. Barometric pressure was 30 and 8/100 inches of mercury right now, and the wind speeds are relatively low at around 3 miles per hour, but the same can't be said for that humidity. Right now it's 97% outside with that rain. And as we take a closer look at the rest of our region, the same story goes. A lot of light to moderate rain moving northeast as we head into the late hours of tonight. And then that's not the only thing that cities in the region have in common right now. Lexington and Buena Vista both are at 40 degrees, Stanton at 39, Charlottesville at 42, along with Lynchburg. And then as we take a closer look to the west, Covington at 39 degrees, and Roanoke is also at 42. But let's get into the good news. Tomorrow morning, that rain will start to clear out, but we'll experience a little bit of patchy fog, so be prepared for that. But as we head into tomorrow afternoon, we'll see that sun come out full force, high of 62 and a low of 41. Saturday, a similar high of 63 with a low of 32 and freezing. But as we head into the beginning of our week, that sun is here to stay. High of 66 with a low of 38, so those lows are rising. And Monday, a high of 71, low of 40. And then Tuesday, we'll see a high of 69 and a low of 48. But if today's reminder tells you anything, it's that November chilly air is coming for sure. So back to you, Valentina and Mackenzie.
Well, thank you, Cammie, for that update. It looks like my sunshine request was fulfilled. But coming up on the Rockbridge Report, Washington and Lee women's basketball won their season opener with a new head coach. I had the chance to speak with Brittany Kemp about the victory.
And after that, the Capitol Christmas tree makes its way to Washington from Anchorage, Alaska. Stay with us here at the Rockbridge Report.
Welcome back to the Rockbridge Report. As Cammie just updated us, the temperatures are dropping, which means it's officially basketball season. I had the chance to catch the men's and women's game, and I think I saw you in the stands, Valentina.
You did, in fact, see me there. I got to catch a great game and a win for the women's basketball team. Devin, can you tell us more?
Yeah, of course. It was a great game. Washington and Lee women's basketball started their season with a 69-61 win against Southern Virginia University. It's also the first game for the new head coach, Brittany Kemp. Our own Mackenzie Kane has the details.
Good evening, Rockbridge. I'm here at Washington and Lee's Holcamp Gym for the General Women's Basketball team's season opener. And joining me here on court is recently appointed head coach Brittany Kemp. Now, coach, the team not only secured their first win of the season, but your first win as head coach of the Generals. How's it feel?
Feels great. You know, we put in a lot of work in the preseason, just getting to know each other and working on a new system. And they're a phenomenal group of girls, and they love each other, and I think that's what matters at the end of the day.
The team got the lead off the opening tip and kept it the entire game. But this was one where it really wasn't over until that clock hit 0. So what were you telling your girls?
Yeah, to stay composed. You know, we had big people step up in big minutes, and I think that's the key to this team is that anyone can step up and shine in their role that they have that given day. And I think 1 through 15 strong here.
Now, you and the team are on the road for the next couple of weeks. Don't return back to Holcamp until December. How crucial was it getting this win at home before heading down to Atlanta?
Yeah, I think it was great just to shake the rust off and really just secure that first one to kind of say, okay, we put the work in, and now we have to continue to grow and take these strong non-conference games on the chin and continue to just battle through them.
Well, Coach, I appreciate your time. Best of luck moving forward this weekend. And signing off with the Rockbridge Report, I'm Mackenzie Kane.
Generals men's soccer beat Lynchburg 1-0 at an away game over the weekend. Spencer Furman scored the game-winning goal in the second half. And women's volleyball swept Averett University 3-0. The Generals move on to the ODAC semifinals tonight at 6:30. But VMI football fell to Mercer College in a 34-0 loss at a home game last weekend. The Keydets have only won a single game this season. But the VMI men's basketball beat Christendom College 102-56 at the Tuesday home game, extending their win streak to 3 games. In Southern Virginia University, men's basketball lost 79-70 at an away game against Averett on Tuesday, while Knights volleyball won their first match of the USA South Conference tournament versus North Carolina Wesleyan in straight sets. Rockbridge County High School also won their final Friday nights matchup of the year, beating William Monroe High School 28-6 at home. But Wildcat volleyball Cinderella run came to an end against Allegheny High School, losing 3-1 in a playoff matchup at home. In Buena Vista, we have Perry McClure football in a playoff bound against Eastern Montgomery High School, and they lost 48-0 last Friday. The Fighting Blues will play against Narrow High School at 7 p.m. tomorrow night in round 1 of the Virginia State playoffs. Now back to you, Mackenzie.
Thank you, Devin, for that sports update. All different sports in the air this season, just like Christmas cheer. An 80-foot Christmas tree from Alaska is traveling through western states on its way to the nation's capital. CNN's Lauren Maxwell has the story.
In Pocatello, Idaho, the Capitol Christmas tree's arrival coincided with the annual Veterans Day Parade. Crowds came out to celebrate those who served,
grab a pen and sign your name on there,
adding names and well wishes to a giant banner on the truck that holds the Capitol Christmas tree. It's an act that feels almost patriotic, in keeping with the day.
We're, halfway across the country now, and it's been consistent the entire way. They are just so excited to see this tree.
The traveling tree has a way of bringing people together at every stop. In Murray, Utah, families posed in front, much to the delight of this man. Fred Austin and his partner John Shank are the 2 Alaskans driving the truck more than 3,000 miles to D.C. In Grand Junction, Colorado, the celebration continued, this time with a different holiday theme.
I think the tree is something that everybody can just come together around, and that's what we've seen as we've been coming to these communities. It's folks from all walks of life coming out to visit and see this thing and just kind of start getting in that holiday season mood.
It's a reminder that in just a few weeks, a tree from Alaska will grace the nation's capital, shining brightly for all to see.
That's all for the Rockbridge Report. Thanks for watching.
And make sure to stick around for our full exclusive interview. And make sure to visit us online at rockbridgereport.wlu.edu. See you next time.